Hola amigos, bien o no, y saludos desde Medellín. Hoy quiero compartir con ustedes um, mi nuevo blog de hoy. So, yo escribí claramente en inglés, pero espero que ustedes van a disfrutar el tema de hoy. Listo, comenzamos. So, this is from my blogger post, Graham in Medellin. I'll put the link in the description of the video so you can have a look at that in the text form if you like. Here we go. So the blog is titled Soy Antioqueño, gracias a Dios. I'm Antioqueñan, thank God. Hello dear readers, and greetings once more from Medellin. Since my last post, I had hoped to be able to report a calming of the political scene here. Whilst the rock-throwing street protests have abated, the tone of our president's rhetoric, sadly, has not. Disappointed by the process to replace the Fiscal General, there then followed the debacle of funding to complete the 4G motorway that crosses Colombia. Not to mention the fiasco of pension and health reform legislation that looks to be doomed to a death by 1,000 cuts in one or other of the Senate committees. And then there is the resurgence of armed groups no longer keen to enter his much vaunted peace process. Faced with this insurrection, the president took a trip to Venezuela to consult with his counterpart there, doubtless in the form of a spiritual retreat, and resorted to barracking his opponents via his Twitter account. Okay, well, so much for the Bogota village politics, you say. Why is this post titled Soy Antioqueño? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's all to do with a cow, or at least a type of public fundraiser which is known here colloquially as una vaca, a cow. So the 4G motorway has been snaking its way across Colombia for some time now. It's an engineering marvel of bridges and tunnels that promises ultimately to connect the interior of Colombia to the principal ports of the coast. Almost complete. The final stretch of the motorway is here in Antioquia, and herein lies the problem. Our president has long known that his core political support does not come from Antioquia. Now, whether this truly rankles with him is a moot point, but whatever the motive, he refused to send funding to complete the project. The governor of Antioquia objected, citing the benefits for the whole of Colombia if the network was completed. Unmoved, the president complained that it was a project that would only benefit the elites, and again refused funding. Now, this verbal tennis looked set to continue for some days when the governor announced, to great acclaim, that he would be following the suggestion of our ex-president, Alvaro Uribe, that a fund be established to which Antioqueñans could voluntarily donate and thereby finish the job for the sake of Colombia. From this was born the vaca, the cow, and another unholy political row. Donations poured in, public support, at least here in Medellin, was very enthusiastic. All looked set to reach the target amount in record time. And then a mysterious donation by one of the aforementioned armed groups muddied the waters somewhat and allowed the president to call for the vaca to be closed immediately, since it contained dirty money. Words such as hypocrisy, dissimulation, even mendacity were whispered behind the president's back at press conferences and said to his face by some senators. An impasse set in. Questions were raised again around the president's singular style of crisis management and team building. Few of the comments were complimentary. Twitter's shares must surely have surged given the number of characters tweeted. And finally, in a masterpiece of political doublespeak, government funds have now been allocated to finish the motorway project and save the cow from becoming another white elephant. So my feelings, having watched how this situation was variously mishandled, bungled, botched and rescued from political disaster, is that rather in the vein of JFK's famous speech in Berlin at the height of the Cold War, when to say "Ich bin ein Berliner" was a mark of civic pride in the face of political menace, I am proud to repeat the slogan that is the title of today's blog. Soy Antioqueño. Gracias a Dios. So there we go. That's my blog for today. I think it only remains for me to remind you of the other slogan going around at the moment. Si Antioquia resiste, Colombia se salva. If Antioquia resists, Colombia will be saved. So on that happy note, we shall say from Medellin, Cheerio.